If you've ever played Geometry Dash, chances are you've heard of the term Extreme Demon. Ever since the term was coined following update 2.1, Extreme Demons have become one of the biggest staples in the game's history. An Extreme Demon rating is given to the hardest levels in the game verified legitimately. As of right now, 449 levels have claimed this title. Despite being such a minuscule portion of online levels, Extreme Demons are said to be some of the most fun levels the game has ever seen. So that begs the question, what is the most fun Extreme Demon?
Man, shut your
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name.
Anyway, in order to answer this mind-boggling question, we're gonna have to run an experiment. And you might want to be sitting down when I explain this to you, because my god, did this take me forever. So basically, I've just spent the past several months watching a crazy amount of Extreme Demon completions. And I'm not lying when I say a crazy amount.
God damn!
Then after watching the videos, I would go down to the description of the videos and check for an enjoyment rating to see how much fun someone had while beating the level. Once I found someone that gave a rating, I would go to my unnecessarily massive spreadsheet and type in their rating out of 10 for that level. Repeat this for another 3,600 times and then you'll have the answer to this question. As you can see, it's a very simple experiment, one of the easiest video ideas on the face of the planet.
Stop the cap!
In order to give each Extreme Demon a fair score, there had to be some guidelines. So I randomly selected 10 completions for each level, that way the numbers are not really altered in favor of any extreme. Another rule I decided to enforce is a level had to have at least 5 enjoyment ratings. By doing so, this kind of helped even out people's opinions about a level, because it's obvious that not everyone's gonna have the same feeling about a certain level. Now that those rules are established, let's see which extremes are not qualified. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure there's definitely more than one. And I was right. Now that we've eliminated 53 levels, we can begin the experiment. But before we dive right into the 10 most fun Extreme Demons, let's take a look at the 10 most unfun, because I'm in the mood for a good roast. Starting off the list at the 10th lowest spot is the Hell Zone. This was a collaboration between the creators 1234, Korea Core, Ryan LC, and Cyclic. The Hell Zone is a remake of a once thought to be impossible level made by Son0924 and Update 1.2. While I was doing my research for this video, I began to realize that a lot of these levels that place at the bottom half of the list were older levels, specifically ones that were either based off impossible levels made during the Qing Dynasty, or they were made during 1.9 and 2.0 when apparently nobody knew how to make good gameplay. Now this level is filled to the brim with choke points. If you don't know what choke points are, they're basically parts of a level in which the difficulty spikes to an insane degree, typically with like tight straight fly or impossible timings. I mean, we're not even 2% into the level and I already have a problem with this. Not necessarily the decoration, because I mean that looks fine, but it's this jump right here. Now you might be saying, Math, this looks like a normal jump. What in the world are you talking about? And while I would agree with you, if it wasn't for the fact that this jump is literally frame perfect on a high refresh rate. And according to victors of the level, there are several more choke points just like this around the rest of the level. The Hell Zone received a 3.15 out of 10, which, if I'm gonna be honest, I kinda thought it would be worse than that. I mean, considering how many people I hear talking about how bad this level is, I was really expecting like a low 2 to a high 1. Following right behind the Hell Zone is yet another Stormfly level, Hate War. This is a collaboration between the creators Silence and of course Stormfly, and was a remake of a 1.7 level made by Sari. Despite this being one of the easiest extremes in the game, there's quite an abundance of hard timings throughout the level. And what makes it even worse is that it looks really simple since the decoration is barely even present. The UFO sections at 17% and 39% are way harder than everything else before it, and I mean, are you really surprised? Old levels have some of the worst balancing I've ever seen, and as we go through the next 8 levels, it's gonna be a common theme between nearly all of them. Then we get to a ball part, which is absolutely terrible to play from zero and is by far the worst part of the level. But it gets worse! What am I even looking at? If this doesn't scream 1.7 gameplay, then I don't know what does. Listen, I get the fact that this was a remake of a level that came out 3 updates prior, but why did this, of all things, have to take up 29% of the level? That's a higher percentage than I have on Flappy Tux. No wonder Hate War received a 2.8 out of 10, with 3 out of the 10 people chosen giving it a 0. At the 8th lowest position, we have Under Lava Land. This is a mega collab hosted by NRG featuring 10 different creators and was verified by Dorami in March of 2018. Now I don't know if you're caught up with your GD memes or anything, but there's been a long-running joke that Dorami verifications are always really terrible, but I mean, I've never really understood that. Okay, well at least they didn't mention idols. Son of a... The main issue with this level is how unbelievably bad the balancing is. The first quarter of this level could genuinely be an 8-star, I swear, the beginning is so easy, even I could do it. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? It's like they forgot to add the difficulty in the beginning, because once you get past that part, they just throw top 100 gameplay right in your face. Tons of gravity switches, orb timings, tight spider parts, and straight fly. All over the place. But hey, at least the decoration makes up for the gameplay. Some parts of this level look super clean, considering they were made over 3.5 years ago. But unfortunately, good design does not always correlate with enjoyment. Under Lava Land received a 2.79 out of 10, with 4 out of the 10 people giving the level a 0. But hey, at least someone gave you an 8.6 for some reason. Keep your head up, and maybe in the future someone will give you a 10. Minus 10. Now, if you've been paying attention to Extreme Demons for the past few months, you'll know that this level has been rising in popularity, but not for the right reasons. Castling is a solo level created and verified by Meru. This level was released in August of 2019, but wasn't actually rated until 5 months ago. And only 4 months ago did we see its first victor. And let me tell you, the backlash that this level received was insurmountable. Literally every comment you see praising this level is disliked to death. But why exactly is this level garnering such reactions from the community? Well, as I was reading through the video descriptions for Castling, I compiled a list of parts that were consistently hated across multiple people. First off, 4%. Are you serious? In what universe was this ever considered a good idea for gameplay? I could seriously replace that click with the Galaxy Collapse Wave, and I think that would be better than this. The second choke point at 24. Are you a fan of blind transitions? Well, we've got you covered. The entire wave at 60 was another part that people really did not like. And to be honest, I can't blame them, this wave looks like AIDS. 69% is also really bad too. Some would say it's even one of the worst parts. And we saved the best for last. The last 10% is the hardest part in the entire level. So yeah, castling kinda sucks. It received a 2.72 out of 10, and to be honest, I can definitely see why people hate this so much. Surprisingly for this next level, I'm actually very familiar with. I tried doing this as a new hardest back in spring of 2021, and then I got 79 and never touched it again. Tech Manifestation is a collaboration between the two Russian creators Pleo Slim and MacFeed, and was verified by Dolphy in June of 2019. I feel like I've played this level enough to give a good insight of the flaws that it has, so I'm just gonna list them all right now. First off, why is this beginning so hard? I mean, you could say it's because ship is my worst game mode, but I don't know, I feel like I can't be the only person that found this annoying. Also, I found myself dying way too many times at this transition at 20%. It gives you almost zero time to line up the jump, which is really frustrating. It's even worse than a high detail. Like, at this point, you should just forget about using anything except low detail. Which brings me to another problem I have with this level. Why is the low detail so empty? And why is the ultra low detail just a layout? I mean, at this point, you might as well just make the whole level invisible. Besides that, there are also more bad transitions, a 60Hz frame perfect jump at 32, really terrible balancing, around 15% of the level being auto transition screens, in the most luck-based wave I've ever seen.
What?
And this is at 90%. I could understand if it was at the very beginning, but what were they thinking putting this 6 clicks away from the end? With a constant change in difficulty and the combinations of tight timings and slow gameplay, it's really no surprise that Tech Manifestation received a 2.71 out of 10, with 7 out of the 10 ratings being under 3. Carmel's levels are famously known around the community for having crazy gameplay mechanics and unique designs, and Elite Z Rebirth only brings one of those to the table, and it's not the decoration. Elite Z Rebirth is a low-end Extreme Demon collaboration between Carmel and Blair's Whip during the 2.0 update. This was a remake of the impossible level Elite Z by Play. Alright, you know what? I'm stopping this right now. I, MathGenius, hereby decree that no creator shall be making a remake of a once impossible level ever. It's actually getting ridiculous at this point. If this isn't a sign to stop making remakes of impossible levels, then I don't know what is. This level has everything to offer. Straight fly, UFO spam, dual ship, memory, more memory. Hey, did I mention memory? Memory with the straight fly, more UFO spam, and to finish things right, triple spikes. Oh wait, I forgot. The dual ship is also 2 players, so you have to control both ships separately. I know you could use the excuse that, oh, it was a 1.8 level and that it was originally impossible, so that's why the gameplay is not very good, or the fact that Carmel and Blair Swip were trying to keep the level as close to the original as possible. And while these are valid arguments, it doesn't make the level any better. This level received a 2.58 out of 10, placing 5th lowest overall. Update 1.9 was a monumental update for Geometry Dash. 2 new official levels were added, you could now use custom songs, there were new icons, a new game mode, new objects you could use in your levels, you could create an account and save your data to other devices. It was awesome! But come on, any sane person would have been like, how the f is the object limit raised to 15k objects? But with this new update came a ton of new levels with amazing creativity. The fun, unique gameplay and aesthetic made some of these levels the most popular levels of all time. And then we got this. The ultimate phase, or as I like to call it, is a mega collab hosted and verified by Andromeda. Well, I say verified, but he actually hacked it in May 2015, but then later on verified an updated version 5 years later. And you know what? Good on you, Andromeda, for going back and verifying it legitimately, but why did you have to buff it? The nerf version was so much more enjoyable to play, and you could skip parts of the level. Oh, you know what? Saying that out loud, that makes more sense. The gameplay at the start is actually pretty good. Sure, it may be a little wonky at times and has some inconvenient timings, specifically Creeper's part, but everything before that is actually really fun. Boy, I sure hope the rest of this level is just as good as this. Well, I already see 2 problems with this. Yeah, this part looks pretty bad, but this isn't even one of the worst parts yet. things go way downhill after this. But not before we get introduced to Tigress X part, which surprisingly is one of my favorite parts. The wave gameplay just feels so smooth and syncs well to the song, and oh, we're back to reality now. If you thought the first half of this level was bad, then boy are you in for a treat. Next we have Woogie, which isn't the greatest in terms of quality gameplay, but it looks like a masterpiece once you compare it to this. This is the worst roller coaster I've ever seen. Just when you think things can't get any worse, we have Crack, Lugia, and Majako back to back to back. This gameplay is terrible. Crack's part is not even centered, and the physics of the dual ship are completely ruined. Lugia's part is just bad. I don't even have to explain this, but some of you might be wondering why I also mentioned Majako's part. But the level ends on a relatively mediocre note, with Cyclic, Zenthic Alpha, and finally Andromeda closing it out. So, I want to commit a war crime. The ultimate phase got a 2.2 out of 10, and the only reason this is fourth to last and not dead last is because someone decided to give this level a 9. I will never understand you, random person. Thanks to this level, I cannot think of the second letter of the alphabet the same anymore. B B B B B B B B B B B B B B, or for the sake of my sanity, B times 20 is a 2.1 mega collab hosted by Roy Mousty and has been heavily criticized for having some of the most unorthodox gameplay in a rated level. And the community wasn't wrong, the gameplay is interesting. But before we talk about the gameplay, I can't be the only person to think that this whole level is just one huge meme, because just look at all of the text and images inserted throughout the level. I can guarantee that there's more pictures in this level than people who actually like the level. I mean, I wasn't wrong. First of all, why is there furry art? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but seriously? And second, why is the Monopoly Man just chilling there? I mean, I'll admit, he's looking kinda cute, like, you know what? But putting him in the level just doesn't make any sense. Like, when was the last time a GD player sat through a full game of Monopoly? B times 20 starts off on the lowest note possible, with a wave section that I swear looks exactly like one of the nightmares I've had, and I think I woke up screaming. Once we get past this dreadful wave, the rest of this level is absolutely amazing, is what I would say if I was a complete lunatic. As a matter of fact, it actually goes downhill from here. For example, 43 and 88 make me want to hack into RobTop's account and delete this level from existence. B times 20 received a 2.16 out of 10, making it the third worst extreme demon in the game. I was tempted to deduct points because there wasn't enough Waluigi, but I remembered that I had to be fair in this experiment, so B times 20, make sure to wear this reverse bronze medal in honor. Actually, you know what? Don't do that. This is not something to be proud of. I'm not gonna lie, I went into this video thinking that the most hated extremes would be some of the hardest ones, and I'm glad to know that my theory wasn't 100% wrong. Promethean is a 2.1 mega collab hosted by N-Level and was verified by Rico LP on May 22nd, 2021, making it the 16th hardest level on the demon list. While doing my research for Promethean, the experiences people had with this level were quite brutal, to put it lightly. Almost everyone mentioned how luck-based and painful it was to play the second half of this level, and how difficult it was to pass the final ship. I mean, look at how many deaths this pro player RG had in the second half. That's 342 deaths above 87, and yes, I counted. If that doesn't make you feel bad, then I'm convinced you either really like Promethean, or you're a brain-dead psychopath. Actually, coming to think of it, those are the exact same thing. Promethean received a 1.68 out of 10. That's already a pretty terrible score, but there's one level left to go, and Promethean will be going home with the reverse silver medal. And finally, the #1 least fun extreme demon in all of GD may not come as a shock to some of you high-level players. It's Sonic Wave Infinity. Yes, we all know SWI for being the second hardest level on the demon list. Wait, hold on a second? What, is 8? It's number 8 on the list now? What happened to the list? Well, I guess we know SWI for being the 8th hardest level on the demon list, and its ability to take a 7-year-old trend and make it look like it took 7 years to make. I mean, this level is a masterpiece. It was actually quite hard to figure out why people dislike this level so much, so I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I contacted some of the victors of Sonic Wave Infinity to hopefully get some insight into the experience of playing SWI. And I was able to get a response from 2 pro players, Rith and Do. Yes, I just censored that out. Both of them mentioned how stressful it was to play SWI. Specifically Rith, considering he was racing to be the first victor of the level, which eventually he would be victorious. But besides the fact that he was going for the first victor, this level is also number 8 on the demon list. And at the time, it was just number 3, only behind 2 reigning beasts, Tartarus and the Golden. As for the gameplay, Do explained how the pre-drop is extremely chokeable because of how tedious it was, and I might not be good enough to beat this, but I can totally understand that. The drop is the fastest and most exhilarating part of the level, but it takes 40 seconds to get past the pre-drop, and in GD time, 40 seconds is a lot. But once we get to the waves, things don't actually get any better, they actually get worse. Not only is the very first click of the drop a blind timing, but there is also a hitbox error at 61, the last wave is incredibly difficult, and it obviously doesn't help at all when nerves are taken into consideration too. But once you've beaten it, was it really worth going through all that pain? Well, I guess maybe you could say it was worth it because you don't ever have to play it again. For all those reasons, Sonic Wave Infinity received a 1.62 out of 10. Crowning it the least fun extreme demon in all of Geometry Dash. I would say congratulations, but yeah. And now for a quick intermission. I'm now going to show the ratings of all the extreme demons that didn't fall in the top 10 or the bottom 10, because maybe you're curious to know what a certain level got, and I'm here to answer your calls. So for the next 30 seconds, the other 350 plus qualified levels will be shown with their rank and what score they received. Alright, intermission over. Hope you enjoyed that, but now, it's time for the main event of the evening. 10 extreme demons, each praised by the community as the best levels of all time. But only one will reign victorious. Welcome to GD Fight Night, sponsored by, well, no one. There's no such thing as a GD Fight Night, this is just a green screen. But regardless, the community has picked 10 extreme demons that they believe to be the most fun. And I bet you're curious to find out what they are. So I'm not gonna stall any longer, let's jump right into it. The 10th most fun extreme demon in Geometry Dash is going to be Artifice. Artifice is a 2.1 mega collab hosted and verified by Felix Ram in September of 2019. Despite the level being released over 18 months ago, Artifice has never lost its charm. First of all, S-tier song, maybe one of the best songs I've ever heard in GD, and it's still on Newgrounds, so even the mobile players can enjoy this masterpiece. I know music taste is subjective and all, but come on, how can you not like this? And the decoration is still really appealing even in the year of our Lord 2022. I must say, Artifice still looks better than a lot of new extremes being released these days. No offense to the creators. The color choices are immaculate. I would have never thought red, orange, and purple would look so nice together, but I was wrong. I like this level so much that I decided that I was going to do this for a new hardest in the future. So I decided last week that I would learn it in advance so I wasn't going into it completely blind after I beat idols. I'm currently going for 57 to 100, and I must say, it is very satisfying. If you've beaten Bloodbath or anything around the difficulty and you want a new hardest, I would keep Artifice under your radar. Even with a 9.06 out of 10, we still have 9 more levels to go. What level will be the favorite? We'll find out. Number 9 on the list is going to be Moment. Moment is a 2.1 collab created by Arkushi and Ice Cave and was verified in May of 2021. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most interesting and unique levels in the top 10. Moment uses this very interesting style that I can't really put into words, but the modern feel with the use of pastel colors and contrasting block design feels very reminiscent of Final Destination and Her Name Is. Whatever you would call it, I think it's a really underrated style and should be utilized more throughout other levels. Also, subjective opinion incoming, but this is another S tier song. I actually have this song in my playlist, and I don't typically like nightcore type music, but this is such a bop. Not only does it sound amazing, but it fits the atmosphere of the level perfectly, which is something I think creators don't prioritize as much as they should, because the right song can add so much to the overall experience of a level. Now, I'm not good enough to say whether or not the gameplay is good, so let's look at some actual victors of the level and see what they have to say.
It has fantastic gameplay, and I loved every bit of it in all honesty. Amazing level, and after it got balanced, I would recommend it even more. This level has easily become my new favorite level of all time. The fast-paced gameplay with the around Bloodbath difficulty combined for a masterpiece of a level. This level slaps. My only complaints are 0% is unnecessarily grindy and 53% is just really awkward.
These comments make Moment a prime example of a super fun level despite not having the greatest gameplay. The combination of the visuals and the song were able to compensate for somewhat unpleasant gameplay, and you know what? That is totally acceptable. Moment received a 9.07 out of 10, making it the 9th most fun Extreme Demon. On to the next one. Number 8 on the list is going to be Speedrun. This is a solo project created by Kaido and was verified by Cincy in December of 2019. This level was on the demon list for over a year and a half, but unfortunately was knocked off due to the placement of the level Calamity in October of 2021. Ever since Speedrun was released, lots of GD pros have come to adore this level for good reason. Obviously, one of the reasons is because it uses a really godly song. Camellia is one of the GOATs when it comes to GD songs. Exit the Earth's Atmosphere, Crystallized, For the Delta, Light It Up. He has been making bangers for a long time. Now on to the visuals. Speedrun uses this very unique pixel art style that I've rarely ever seen in levels before, and Kaido is able to pull it off insanely well. The great use of colors, the consistency of quality, all the way to the end. Speedrun passes the deco test for sure. The gameplay quite literally is a speedrun. A big portion uses 4 times speed, making this level very exhilarating and quite the heart-racing experience. I mean, the first 4 times speed change is not even at 1%, and I did the calculations because why wouldn't I? And I discovered that 82% of speedrun is 4 times speed. So at least we know Kaido wasn't lying. All things considered, Speedrun managed to run away with a 9.10 out of 10. Let's move on to the next level. Number 7 takes us straight to the dance floor because it's time to boogie! Boogie is a mega collab hosted by Digital Zero and was verified by Railblazer in August of 2021. It's currently the longest Extreme Demon in the game, sitting at a staggering 6 minutes 47 seconds. Just to take into consideration how long this level is, you could take Explicit, which is the shortest Extreme Demon as of recording this video, and beat it 10 times in a row before you complete Boogie once. Clearly, the length was just right for players because they gobbled this up to bits. fits. I mean, the sheer girth on that thing and the texture. The decoration isn't the most amazing thing I've ever stumbled across, but I will admit that some of these effects are really cool, and the optimization is crazy impressive. There's only 260,000 objects, which may seem quite high, but remember, this is the longest Extreme Demon we're talking about. The gameplay in Boogie feels incredibly smooth the entire time, and you can tell that this level was playtested perfectly. There are little to no bugs throughout this whole thing, which is quite the feat. However, you need nerves of steel to beat this level. I would definitely say Boogie is the most accessible level on the Demon list at the moment, so if you're up for the challenge, then definitely give it a shot. Boogie received a 9.16 out of 10, with half the records being perfect scores. Even a score of 6 didn't stop this level from placing 7th overall. Despite being number 6 on this list, I feel like nobody ever talks about this level. This level barely has over 50,000 downloads, but many people have grown to admire this level, especially these people. You know who you are. Of course, I'm talking about Reverence. This was a mega collab hosted by Womb and was verified by He Who Shall Not Be Named in August of 2020. Now, don't let the verifier change your opinions about this level. Reverence is awesome. It might seem like your typical glow style level at first glance, but I would say it's the effects and the gameplay that really carry this level. The effects fit perfectly. They sync extremely well with the song and make the overall experience a whole lot better. And speaking of sync, this gameplay is so well synced, like holy moly. Just like Artifice, Reverence feels so exhilarating to play. With the sync gameplay, the headbanging song.
Try not to headbang challenge.
Expert level.
And the awesome visuals. Like, man, if I was good enough to beat this, I definitely would. Reverence received a 9.20 out of 10, which is a super impressive score, but with 5 more levels to go, we might see a level get close to a perfect score. Who will it be? Let's find out. And we finally made it to the top half of the 10 most fun extremes. And the first level to cross this threshold is going to be Worst Trip. Worst Trip is a solo level made by LolTad and was verified by my boy Aeon Air in February of 2022. Also, I hope you didn't glance over the fact that this level is a solo creation. There were only 3 levels in the top 10 that were made by just one person. Speedrun, Worst Trip, and another level that I won't give away quite yet. But all I'm gonna say is that it sits at the number 1 spot. Within the first 5 seconds, I can already tell that this level is going to be incredible. First of all, amazing song choice. Currently one of my favorite songs used in an extreme. Creo never fails to make the most banger music. And I must say, the gameplay goes perfectly with the song. The sync is immaculate in Worst Trip. LolTad creates gameplay that follows the syncopation of the song, meaning he makes the player click on the beats both on and in between the 4 primary beats. But aside from the sync, Worst Trip uses this very unique style of decoration that I can't really put into words, but whatever it is, I really like it. It's not overwhelmingly crazy, but it's also not static at all. But I think the thing that makes this level shine is the incredible use of effects. Each and every effect that's used in this level feels like it has a purpose. The color changes, the moving objects, everything contributes to the level in their own way. The only problem that I see people having with this level is that the learning process can be quite the roadblock. But once you get all the parts nailed down, it gets miles better. Worst Trip received a 9.21 out of 10, and I can't say I'm surprised. LolTad just keeps making super enjoyable levels. Despite this next Extreme Demon going under everyone's radar, it didn't stop them from taking the number 4 spot on this list. Introducing Anahita. Anahita is a mega collab created by the Brimstone team and published by Yuko in June of 2021. This level is the official sequel to the Extreme Demon Brimtanic Paradise, and based on how well this level did on the list, it's safe to say that Anahita did a very good job making the sequel outperform its predecessor. According to my research, this level is based off the Calamity mod in the game Terraria, and I gotta come clean, I've never played Terraria in my life, but my friend Dreamlight told me that Anahita is a very good remake and it stays true to the source, which is exactly what I needed to hear. The decoration in Anahita looks stunning. On the surface level I thought it was just another glow level, but as I actually focused on the intricate details, there was so much to unpack. I'm sure if you play Terraria, this level probably stands out a lot more to you, but as someone who doesn't have a single second of playtime on the game, it still looks really good. I also thought the song was really cool. I've always really liked the cinematic style music within GD because it provides the extra sense of atmosphere in levels, and turns out the song is also from the Calamity mod, so maybe I'm just out of the loop. And we can't forget to talk about the gameplay. Nearly every person I saw that beat this had nothing but positive things to say about the gameplay. Aside from the minor choke point in the ship section, the gameplay creators did a magnificent job. Anahita received a 9.30 out of 10, just barely missing out on a podium finish. But now it's time to find out who actually made the top 3. The third most fun Extreme Demon taking home the bronze medal is going to be Goldcrest Palace. I bet a lot of you were probably not expecting this level to show up at all, or maybe you've never even heard of it, so let me just give you the rundown. Goldcrest Palace is a collaboration between the two creators, Grenade of Tacos and Paul333, and was verified by Yakov Nugget in February of 2021. You might be wondering, well I mean the level looks cool and all, but I don't see why it would be number 3. And to that I say, shut up. But I will have you know, but this entire level was created using the 1.9 editor, which... what? Just to compare Goldcrest Palace to other 1.9 levels, take the levels that were nominated in Doggy's Geometry Dash 1.9 awards and put them against Goldcrest Palace, and I know some people might disagree with me here, but I think Goldcrest Palace trumps every single level in that video. Granted, update 1.9 was over 7 years ago, and creators have definitely had time to master the editor, but I still think this is crazy impressive regardless. I have no idea how Grenade of Tacos was able to create this eye candy using only 4 color channels, and the limited design and gameplay choices they had to work with did not stop them at all from creating such a beautiful blast from the past. I did notice that a lot of people mention how unbalanced the gameplay is, but apparently it gets very consistent, so if you're going for it, I probably wouldn't stress too much about it. Goldcrest Palace takes home the 3rd place spot with a 9.33 out of 10. But only 2 more levels remain. Which level will be the magnum opus of Extreme Demons? We're about to find out. Taking home the runner-up position and the silver medal, the second most fun Extreme Demon in Geometry Dash is going to be Nelv. Nelv is a collaboration between the 3 creators, Sergei Esther, Not Elsa, and Dianid, and was verified by Sergei Esther in April of 2021. Look, I don't even need to sugarcoat this level for you, I think it speaks for itself. There are so many incredible things about this level, and we're just gonna go through all of them. First of all, Nelv was voted as the best Extreme Demon released in 2021, and it was going up against some very solid contenders here. But I think the community had their mind dead set on what level they liked the most. The effects in this level are absolutely stellar. The ravishing use of color and the countless effects that correspond with the intensity of the song, they make Nelv feel like more than just a level. It feels like a piece of artwork. And winning Best Extreme Demon was just based on decoration and the total atmosphere that the level provided, so Nelv's visual checkbox has most certainly been ticked off. So what about the song? So what about the game? Okay, we get it, Nelv's amazing, but you gotta give me time to speak, okay? For the gameplay, I think this comment sums it up very well.
Nelv manages to balance uniqueness of gameplay and visuals along with amazing gameplay, which many levels strive to do but usually sacrifice quality of gameplay in the process. With the exception of a few parts that felt uncomfortable, this level is literally perfect.
Nelv received a 9.38 out of 10, which is a phenomenal score, but only one level was able to take the crown out of Nelv's hand. Out of the 400 plus extreme demons in the entirety of Geometry Dash, we are left with just one. A level who went against all odds and is now officially crowned the most fun extreme demon. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Endless Dream. Endless Dream is a solo extreme demon created and verified by Dreamtide in June of 2021. So remember when I told you before that only 3 levels in the top 10 were solo levels and that number 1 was a solo? Well, not only was it created by Dreamtide, but it was verified by Dreamtide, and the entire development of the level was made on mobile. Every single part of it without exception. Now that is certainly something you don't see every day. This level checks off every box I can think of. Great song? Check. It's one of Crayo's newer songs, and the first time I heard it, I was nothing short of impressed. Great visuals? Check. Some of the effects look insane, and the fact that they were all made on mobile absolutely amazes me. Like seriously, I've been trying to create a mobile so many times, and it's actually impossible, so much respect goes to Dreamtide. Great gameplay? Check. Typically when I see 4x speed gameplay, I can barely understand what's going on my screen, but with Endless Dream, I feel like I can actually process what I'm seeing. The gameplay looks so fun. Usually I'm not a fan of asymmetrical duels and flow gameplay, but for some reason I really want to try this. Overall, Endless Dream is a fantastic level, and Dreamtide managed to do everything perfect with this. With an unbelievable score of 9.84 out of 10, Endless Dream is formally crowned as the most fun extreme demon that has ever been created in Geometry Dash. Dreamtide, if you're watching this, you've created something truly amazing, and I believe that you are most certainly worthy of having this monumental achievement. So congratulations. So that's it. That is the 10 most fun extreme demons and least fun extreme demons. I hope you did enjoy this. This was such a big project that I've been working on for over a year now, so let's just say I am super happy to get this video out, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I really hope this video does well.